NHL teams just love messing with the Toronto Maple Leafs for some reason or another. Now, this video is not going to go over why that is. I think everybody kind of just recognizes now that it is what it is. And this video is more or less just going to highlight what we have seen that has led us to believe in that, especially when it comes to the waiver wire. So, when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of the main conversations that has pretty much eaten up all the discourse around this fan base and the media is goaltending. Wall injured, Campbell injured, Shelgren coming in, Mrazek not good, all this stuff. You had yourselves a few days ago, Peter Mrazek gets sent down on waivers by the Toronto Maple Leafs, as well as another goalie whom the Leafs signed that same day. It is a name that you might be familiar with, the gold medal winning for Team Finland, Harri Sateri, and I'm only realizing now how funny that name is when you say it with an anglicized accent. I'm sure in Finnish it's probably like Harri Sateri or something like that, but like, say it in regular anglicized words, Harri Sateri. That's fantastic. But he was a free agent signing by the Toronto Maple Leafs, 32 years old, fresh off of an Olympic gold medal where he had a .962 save percentage in 5 games played, and a season in the KHL where he had a .926 save percentage in 38 games. Not bad in the slightest. Well, Harri decided to come over to North America to end off the 21-22 season, and after signing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he was placed on waivers because apparently that's how it goes. I don't understand why this rule is the way it is, so if anybody wants to go down there in the comments and explain why a brand new free agent out of the KHL needs to get passed through waivers before coming on, please let it make sense to me. I heard somebody talking about, okay, it's because they don't want to give teams the ability to stockpile prospects in Europe and just bring them over, but like, I'm still not grasping it 100%, so if anybody smarter than me wants to go in the comments and explain why Sateri had to go through waivers, please let me know why that is the case. But either way, he chose to sign with Toronto. He chose to come over to the NHL, and as the newest Toronto Maple Leafs signee, he had to go through the waiver process. Now, a day after Harri Sateri was placed onto waivers, we had ourselves the claim by the Arizona Coyotes. It was one of the first teams, I think second if not first, in the waiver wire order that actually placed a positive claim on Harri Sateri, so now Sateri is going over to Arizona, and he'll be in that organization instead. Imagine that, eh? You're playing for Team Finland, representing your country internationally, you win a gold medal, you go back to the KHL, you're doing pretty well in the KHL, and you want to come to the NHL. You sign with Toronto, the center of the hockey universe, and instead you're getting forced to go to Arizona because waiver wire. Okay, insert joke about how the Arizona Coyotes don't have a regular arena. But either way, he signed with a team, he's not going to be playing for that team, and as a result, a lot of Leafs fans went out there and said, okay, come on, like this has been way too outrageous when it comes to the Maple Leafs and their waiver situation. They pass guys through there all the time, and more often than not, it feels like they get claimed. In fact, it appears that the Toronto Maple Leafs have had more waiver claims against than any other team, according to Kyle Dubas. That may be double. Let's go over the timeline of events right here. Harri Sateri was signed by Toronto. He must clear waivers. That was on March 20th, so the day before the trade deadline. The next day on the trade deadline, he was indeed claimed by Arizona. This is what Dubas said about losing Sateri to waivers. It didn't work out, much like a lot of the players we put on waivers. I think we lead the league here by like double since 2018 in the fall. We've had 11 guys claimed, which I think is double. And I had to kind of do a double take when I saw this quote. I was like, okay, wait. Sateri, yeah, I can remember a few other names. I remember Boyd, I remember Vesey because they were claimed by my Vancouver Canucks, right? There were a few other names thrown in there, but has it really been 11 or 12 names that the Maple Leafs have had claimed away from them? Then you had yourselves the Reddit comments. This is Leafs Nation 75 summarizing all of the names in the past 4 years that the Toronto Maple Leafs have had claimed off of waivers. And, you know, my memory is starting to jog itself back up. I do remember most of these waiver claims over here. Starting in 2018, you have yourselves Curtis McElhinney, claimed by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Calvin Pickard, claimed by the Philadelphia Flyers. Nick Shore, claimed by the Winnipeg Jets. Dmytro Timashov, claimed by the Detroit Red Wings. Aaron Dell, claimed by the Devils. Jimmy Vesey, claimed by the Vancouver Canucks. Travis Boyd, claimed by the Vancouver Canucks. Adam Brooks, claimed by the Montreal Canadiens. Michael Amadio, claimed by the Vegas Golden Knights. Brooks, claimed again, this time by the Winnipeg Jets, one day after the Leafs claimed him off of waivers from Vegas. Ryan Dzingel, claimed by the San Jose Sharks, and now Harri Sateri, claimed by the Arizona Coyotes. It's funny because a lot of these names, some of them at least, not all of them, but some. You have yourselves like Ryan Dzingel, who got placed on waivers again, and he cleared. So, yeah, there you go. That's Toronto for you, getting the short end of the stick, and of course Harri Sateri being the recent one. Another trend you'll notice amongst all these names, you have yourselves McElhinney, Pickard, Dell, Harri Sateri, a lot of goalies. So there are always going to be teams that do indeed need goaltending help, and it appears that the Toronto Maple Leafs just end up putting guys on waivers that happen to be capable goaltenders that other teams see value in, so they get claimed quite frequently. In fact, it's gotten to the point where it feels like it's become a meme. This is a conversation that Elliotte Friedman and Jeff Marek had on the 32 Thoughts podcast. By the way, Friedman said, I heard that there were like 5 waiver claims for Harri Sateri. Hang on, how many claims? I heard there were 4 or 5 claims for him. Jeff Marek laughs. How many were there just to mess with the Maple Leafs? Because, I don't know about you, but that afternoon, every time I checked in with a team and brought that up, the question was, well, we're not going to do it, but we hope somebody else does. Friedman said, I wonder if Toronto's smarter play was to give him a 2-year deal. I don't know, I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall. But as I just thinking about that, I was talking about that with some people. What in the world? Can I reread that? But I as just thinking about that, I was talking about that with, what in the world? You get what he means, right? He was talking about it with other people in the NHL world. Marek, though, comes in here and he says that one quote that I think everybody sort of wanted to hear, but now that it's out there on the record, it feels so strange to have that, like, actually out there. I want to reread that one quote from Marek over here. Every time I checked in with an NHL team and I brought up the Harri Sateri waiver situation, the question was, well, we're not going to do it, but we hope somebody else does. NHL teams were going out there straight up telling Jeff Marek, yeah, I hope somebody goes out there and claims this guy. I hope the Toronto Maple Leafs don't get what they want because, I mean, is there even a because? It's Toronto. This is what Steve Dangle was talking about. He was joking around saying on a video that NHL teams, it feels like to him that NHL teams are just going out there and screwing over the Maple Leafs, and they're trying everything in their darndest power to be able to do that, which is why they claim a whole bunch of Toronto players. But this thing goes out there and pretty much confirms that. So thank you, Jeff Marek, for pretty much confirming what Steve was going out there and talking about. In fact, he even clarifies it in another reply. Nolan Bianchi says, are you telling me that if the Lightning, Avalanche, Oilers, Pens, etc. put a goalie that could stabilize their playoff chances on waivers, it would have gotten a different response? That those other teams that in this situation claimed Harri Sateri would have wanted the other goalie to clear? This isn't a theory of mine, Steve says. I was told by somebody I trust this is a bit of sorts. Are teams going to go along with a bit if it hurts them? No, they're not. But while this is a bit that makes sense, teams also relish in the humor of it. That's notable if true, which it is. And so, with all of the names listed out here by Kyle Dubas and the Toronto Maple Leafs, McElhinney, Pickard, Shore, Timashov, Dell, Vesey, Boyd, Brooks, Amadio, Brooks again, Dzingel, and now Sateri, it has been 11 different players claimed on waivers in the past 4 years, 12 different times. And so, it's just a very strange carousel that happens to be affecting the center of the hockey universe. Who knows? Maybe if it was all on a different team. Let's say it's not Toronto that has these players and putting them on waivers. Let's say it's Nashville instead. Nashville or some other cap-strapped team that is pretty tight up there. Putting all these guys on waivers. Do you think that Harri Sateri would have gotten claimed if it wasn't Toronto that signed him, and he got placed on waivers because some other team went out there and gave him a contract instead? What about the previous ones? What about Ryan Dzingel? We just talked about that. San Jose put him on waivers again. He cleared, so he's exempt from this conversation. Now, to be fair, for Adam Brooks, he did get claimed by Toronto specifically after getting claimed by Montreal the first time and then getting claimed by Vegas from Montreal, so Brooks I could understand if he would get claimed because he did 2 other times. Then you go back to Amadio, you have Boyd, VC, Dell. You can have a conversation with me in the comments below as to whether or not these guys would have been claimed should they have been placed on waivers if they were not on Toronto. But it's funny, is it not? The Toronto Maple Leafs have been getting screwed by waivers the past few years, and they just can't seem to catch a break. Heck, Peter Mrazek cleared. Peter Mrazek and Harri Sateri were both on waivers the same day, and the brand new guy from the KHL, okay, not brand new, he's played NHL hockey before, but that was a long time ago, the Finnish gold medalist from the non-NHL Olympics got claimed. Meanwhile, Peter Mrazek, who quite frankly, has been bad lately, did not get claimed. That's funny, is it not? So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about this Leafs waiver thing. I hope you enjoyed this video, Trolls99, and bye.